Namaste friends, I am Dr. Vikrant Singh Tomar, Global Convener United Consciousness. Mahatma Gandhi once said, be the change that you want to see in the world. World has always seen two forces. Forces which unite us together and forces which divide us. And there has been two approaches towards these forces. Either criticizing what is wrong or contributing in establishing what is right. United Consciousness is a global initiative of Project Self to contribute and establish divine beyond divides with a mission of one consciousness, one being. Because it is the same blood that flows in all. It is the same water that nourishes us. It is the same air that enriches us. It is the same earth that holds us. Same space envelops us. When a tiny virus doesn't discriminate between us, let's not let any mental virus divide us. Let's not discuss what happens before birth or what will happen after death. Let's focus on what happens after birth and what should happen before death. How should I live and lead in accord with my true nature? Maharshi Patanjali has established a divine scripture called Yoga Sutra, which talks about me identifying my own true nature, the philosophy of oneness, philosophy of union, uniting mind, body and soul, uniting me, you and all. Because when there is chaos inside, certainly there will be conflict outside. When there will be peace inside, there will be prosperity outside. Yoga Sutra establishes a grand model of 8 steps towards an ideal world. First step being yama, restraints, purifying my external behavior towards others and fellow beings, creating an ethically high society. Second, observations, niyamas, purifying my internal behavior, my understanding towards myself, making me an elevated individual. Then asanas, making a physically fit world with a purified body, a world with no disease. Pranayama, breath regulation, leads to purification of breath and regulation of mind. Pratyahara, sense control, leads to purification of sense and a non-distracted mind. Dharana, concentration, ability to focus on any object at my own will, leads to purification of mind and a focused mind. A regulated, non-distracted, focused mind certainly assures high quality of life. Then dhyana, meditation, ability to focus deep and long, leads to purification of I-ness, leads to culminates into fixing mind on my true purpose of life. And finally samadhi, absorption, purifying self and absorbed in my own purpose of life, reaching the goal of life. Yoga envisages a world where I am individually elevated with niyamas. We establish an ethically rooted society in yamas, physically healthy society with asanas, mentally peaceful world with pranayam and pratyahara, spiritually elevated world with dharana and dhyana, and enlightened being with samadhi. Then only there will be Ram Rajya established. Kingdom of heaven will be established, and that will be a real promised land. So dear friends, United Consciousness invites all of you together between 18th to 26th of June to contribute and witness one of the world's most diversified yoga event, International Yoga Week celebration. Sit back and witness one of the grand masters of yoga philosophy, life coaches, dancers, practitioners, meditators coming together on a common platform from more than 120 countries of the world to contribute in establishing divine beyond divides. So sit back, relax and enjoy and witness and get benefited by this grand event. I would like to extend my thanks to European Yoga Federation, AYT Australia, Yogismo International South America, Project Self Incorporation USA, Spiritual Council in Africa, Siddhashram, Yoga Vidya Germany, Yogalam, World Movement for Ayurveda and Yoga for having contributed in this event. Thank you very much.
Project Self, a non-profit organization that stands for empowering humanity with essential life skills for building a strong foundation for lifelong wellness. Our programs help individuals to gain better health, emotional intelligence, and spiritual awareness. Classes include kids yoga, adult yoga, mindfulness meditation, and scriptural studies. Yoga for kids are designed to keep the kids as kids, resilient, focused, and fit. Kid-friendly program focused on their social and emotional well-being.
The ultimate solution prescribed by Krishna is the self-knowledge, because only with the self-knowledge all our sufferings and problems can be removed.
Understanding and learning scriptures will help you lead a life with its full potential. It will help you to find peace, happiness, and contentment in life. Yoga for adults focus on physical postures that bring balance, flexibility, and body awareness. Carefully crafted program covers different aspects of meditation that bring body-mind relaxation and other powerful benefits including stress reduction.
Being a part of Project Self for over 5 years has not only given me so many physical benefits from doing yoga, but also many mental benefits from learning about mindfulness, wellness, and how to de-stress.
Pranayama class has helped me learn proper breathing technique, and the meditation class has helped me focus my mind better.
I am learning Vedanta as well as Bhagavad Gita to connect myself to the spiritual world as well as to understand the real meaning of this life.
The knowledge is one which liberates. Akshara Kids Academy is a mission to enlighten the little noble souls. It is an initiative to provide the virtuous knowledge to kids by inculcating Vedantic learning pattern with modern teaching techniques, with a vision to provide a world-class education focusing on the key human values of harmony and love, ethos and wisdom, conduct and ethics. We value education which provides enlightenment. We value making positive contribution to society. We value in child enrichment. We value boredom-free education system. Our academic structure is based on Panchakosha model, focusing on all 5 koshas. We focus on 8 limbs model of yoga. We provide modern education by focusing on motor skills, brain architecture, emotional intelligence, memory development, and logical reasoning. In God we trust. Life is a yajna. My first step towards enlightenment. When there is meditation, there is no need of medication. One track mind by mantras. Respect for our roots. My nation is my pride. Yajna towards Ma Prakriti. One in all and all in one. Family that lives together, eats together. The 2 pillars of my life, mother, father. The pillars of my success, my Guru. India lives in me, unity in diversity. One conscious, one being. Akshara Kids Academy strives to shape the future of unprivileged and underprivileged kids having urge of learning. Kindly lend your hand too in this yajna. Welcome and introduce Yogacharya Dr. Anand Bal Yogi Bhavani. He is Director of the Center for Yoga Therapy Education and Research and Professor of Yoga Therapy at the Shri Balaji Vidyapith University, Pondicherry. He is the Chairman of the International Center for Yoga Education and Research at Ananda Ashram, Pondicherry, and Yoga Anjali Natyalam, the Primary Institute of Yoga and Carnatic Music and Bharatnatyam in Pondicherry. He is a gold medalist in Medical Studies MBBS with postgraduate diploma in both Family Health and Yoga and the Advanced Diploma in Yoga. A fellow of the Indian Academy of Yoga, he has authored 9 DVDs and 25 books and 21 competitions on yoga. He is a classical Indian vocalist, percussionist, music composer and choreographer of Indian classical dance. He is a recognized PhD guide for yoga therapy and is the first Indian to be recognized as an IAYT certified yoga therapist by the International Association of Yoga Therapists USA. He attended conferences in UK, USA, Italy, Malaysia, Germany, Switzerland, Canada, New Zealand, etc. He is an honorary advisor to the International Association of Yoga Therapists, Australian Association of Yoga Therapists, Worldwide Yoga Foundation. He is a member of numerous experts committees of the Ministry of Ayush, including a National Board for Promotion of Yoga and Naturotherapy, Expert Committee for Celebration of International Yoga Day, and the Yoga and Diabetic Program. He is a consultant resource person for the WHO Collaborative Center in Traditional Medicines at New Delhi. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome and put your hands together for Dr. Anand Bal Yogi Bhavani.
Namaste, namaskaram, vanakkam, swagatam, bonjour, buongiorno, buonasera, buonanotte, huya more, boreda, kio ora, salamat pagi, ayu bhovan, ayushman bhava, shubh dinam, suprabhat, salom. Greetings to you from Puducherry, the land of the Siddha tradition. Gives me great pleasure to be with all of you today, uniting our consciousness through that most amazing aspect of humanity, that which brings us all together, that of our Divine Mother, Yoga herself. Today, I felt like sharing with you some concepts of Upasana as a yoga. Upasana is normally understood as the performance of rituals in puja, and it is often brought out in the concept of worship. Yet, the yoga tradition takes it, as usual, a step further, because the word upasana implies to sit close to be close to, up asana. Asana as a seating and up nearby. Now, the concept of asana can also be understood as a state of being, where you have stability and ease. So, upasana as being close to that state of being which has stability and ease. It is often defined as being close to the Guru, sitting at the feet of the Master, or being close to the Divine. In fact, Saint Thirumoolar, who has given us the Saiva Siddhanta tradition of Ashtanga Yoga, which has the 8 limbs similar to Maharishi Patanjali's Ashtanga Yoga, he describes 4 methodologies, and he says there is the Charya Marga, the Charya Pada, the Kriya Marga, the Kriya Pada, the Yoga Marga, the Yoga Pada, and the Jnana Marga, Jnana Pada. And he says that through this, you can go through 4 ways of getting closer to the divine, the universe, that supreme consciousness. So he says, through the Charya Marga, you can come into what is called Salokya Salokya Mukti, as some people call it, or Salokya Moksha, where you are in the same plane of consciousness as the divinity itself. Wonderful, you are in the same loka. But then through the Kriya Marga, the Kriya Pada, you can go into Samipya, where you are close to the divinity itself. You are very close to the divine. Not only in the same region, but close to the divine. Samipya. But then through the Yoga Marga, the Yoga Pada, you become Sarupya. You take on the form of the divinity itself. Your divine nature starts to blossom. And then through the Jnana Marga, Jnana Pada, Sayujya, where you unite into that supreme consciousness. Salokya, Samipya, Sarupya, and Sayujya, Moksha or Mukti as they consider. The concept of Upasana is given as intense meditation by Adi Shankara. This intense meditation, which in the teachings of Maharishi Patanjali imply the samyama, dharana, dhyana, samadhi, which become one, trayamekatva samyama, as Maharishi Patanjali tells us. Focusing the mind on one place, object or thing, dharana. When it becomes uninterrupted flow, a seamless flow of oneness, that is dhyana. And then becoming one with that object of contemplation becomes samadhi of complete absorption. Dharana, dhyana, samadhi. And of course, we cannot forget that all the preceding 5 limbs of yama, niyama, asana, pranayama and pratyahara are a preparation for the antaranga yoga or the samyama yoga, which then becomes the upasana yoga also, where we are able to focus. And the initial focus has to be on things that you can know, because the process of growth, the process of learning, the process of evolution is from known to unknown. And that is why we have to move through the gunas from a saguna form of contemplation to the nirguna form of contemplation. But we are not yet ready for the nirguna contemplation. Hence, the saguna form of contemplation, which becomes its own meditative practice, its own contemplative practice, its own focusing practice, becomes a form of saguna bhakti. Because upasana as an anga of the bhakti marga is also very important. And this is where the concept of Guru Shishya Parampara is very vital. Because the student sits at the feet of the Guru, sits close to the Guru, so that the amazing teachings can flow from the master to the disciple. Nowadays, Guru Shishya, master disciple, teacher taught has become provider, consumer. And as you know, consumer is always right. Well, they are not always right. Because the Guru is the one who knows what is it that the student needs rather than what they want. A consumer wants things, but a Guru understands what their Shishya, what their Chela requires to become the best version of themselves and attain Kaivalya, which is the only goal of human incarnation. And this is why Maharishi Patanjali has given us in the concept of Samadhi 2 forms. He talks about the cognitive Samadhi, Samprajnata Samadhi, where you have an object of contemplation. It is a Saguna form. As we said, Saguna, known to unknown, Saguna to Nirguna, Samprajnata to Asamprajnata. That is why sometimes Upasana Yoga is also called Samadhi Yoga. Some people expand it into Ashtanga Yoga also. Because ultimate Samadhi Sthiti is only manifesting when all the previous Angas, all the Angas come together, and then Samadhi Anga will flourish. Patanjali tells us very clearly, he says that the Sabija Samadhi, the Samprajnata Samadhi, which is Saguna, is moving from Vitarka Vichara Ananda Asmita Rupa Anugamat Samprajnata. So the Vitarka, which is on a gross object, which can be a form of the deity, it can be the form of the Guru. You are choosing a gross form to contemplate. It becomes Savitarka Samadhi when you perform Dharana, Dhyana and Samadhi on it, Samyama. So Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi, Samyama on a gross object, Savitarka Samadhi, and then as you go deeper into it, you clear your memory. You format your memory drive, and all the associations are removed, and then it becomes nirvitarka. So savitarka, nirvitarka samadhi. Then you have to go into the internal part, vichara, which is now becoming more subtle. So first it was the gross object. Now it is becoming the subtle object. And again the same process. First contemplating the subtle object, that internal subtle object which is savichara, clearing the memory of all its associations, nirvichara. And thus we move from vitarka to vichara, savitarka, nirvitarka, savichara and nirvichara, and then we come into that state of ananda and asmita rupa. As we start to question ourselves, who am I, nan yar, as Ramana Maharishi said. It is interesting that Ramana, who is definitely one of the Maharishis of the modern age, he was asked, Ramana, what is the most important asana that we can do? What is the most best asana? And what did Ramana say? Everybody thought he's going to say Chakrasana, Dhanurasana, Siddhasana, or the popular Shirsasana, Pinchamayurasana, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Ramana doesn't do that. Ramana says Nididhyasana. Nididhyasana, which is that ultimate state where you are established in the reality, the treasured state of the reality. And the process for that has to go Shravana, you have to first listen. Then Manana, you have to contemplate, and then you become established in it. Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. Where does this occur? It is occurring close to the Guru, at the feet of the Master. And that is why the Guru Shishya Parampara, where it is a Karna Parampara, from the mouth of the Guru to the ears of the disciple, who then becomes a Guru, and from his mouth or her mouth to the ears of their disciples. And this is how the unbroken chain of the Guru Shishya Parampara has continued for millennia in India. It is vital that the Guru Shishya Parampara is understood. When we sit close to the Guru, we are sitting close to God. Because as Kabir Das tells us in his Doha so beautifully, if Guru and God were to appear at the same time, who do you pay your obeisance to first? And he says, to the Guru. Because it is the Guru who introduces you to God. And this is why when we talk about Upasana and Upasana Yoga, what is very important is that we learn to focus the mind. How can you focus the mind? The all-pointed mind, Sarvartha mind has to become Ekagratayo. Sarvartha Ekagratayo Kshayodayo has to occur. The Parinama has to occur. For that to occur, we need the foundation of Pranayama Sadhana. Because Pranayama makes us fit for the Antaranga. Dharana Sucha Yogyata Manasaha. And this is why Pranayama Sadhana is the base where the mind which is all pointed becomes one-pointed. When the one-pointed mind is now focused on a gross object, it starts to become a saguna form of dharana, dhyana, and coming into a saguna form of samadhi, which Patanjali so beautifully calls as the sabija or sampragyata samadhi. As we go through this process, we are moving through the different layers. We are moving from duality to non-duality, from dvitiyam to ekam. And this is why this whole concept can be understood as abhyasa yoga also. Because it takes a firm commitment to keep focusing, come what may. All the distractions that are coming, we negate them. And every time the mind runs away like a wild animal, we bring it back to its original place. And as we start to do this, sarvartha ekagratayo, slowly and steadily, we move through the different layers of mood, akshipta, vikshipta, ekagrata, coming into that state of niruddha. And we move from the saguna to the nirguna form. Upasana is a beautiful method to enable us to rest firmly in that state of stability and ease, the highest state where we can become once again close to the divinity, close to the supreme consciousness, and then we ultimately become that pure consciousness of Ishvara itself. Wishing you a wonderful sadhana through Upasana. May we all be blessed, and may we be a blessing wherever we are. Hari Om Tat Sat.
On behalf of United Consciousness, I thank Dr. Anand Bal Yogi Bhavani to come onto the platform of United Consciousness and sharing his views. Thank you so much. I'm privileged to announce our next eminent speaker, who is the specialist of Ayurveda. Please welcome Dr. Jose Ruge Ribeiro from Brazil. He is Doctor of Medicine specialized in intensive care and postgraduated in Ayurveda, Yogacharya by Sudha Dharma Mandalam. Dr. Jose Ruge is a president in institutions such as Sudha Yoga and Ayurveda, Kalayasa Ayurveda Clinics, Shri Vajra Foundations, Brahma Vidyalaya Yoga School, Sudha Sabha Yoga Ashram, and Annapurna Natural Foods. He is a coordinator of the Ayurveda postgraduate course of the Italiano Brasilia University, Brazil, and president of the World Yoga and Ayurveda Movement, Ayurveda sector. He is also the member of the International Academy of Ayurveda, Pune, India, and a member of the editorial board of several international scientific journals. So put your hands together to welcome Dr. Jose Ruge Ribeiro.
Namaste. First of all, I will thank all the invitation for this special day, the commemoration of International Day of Yoga by the United Consciousness International. I thank you for this invitation and to spread something about our work in Ayurveda and how Ayurveda can help all of us in this moment of our history in this planet. Ayurveda is the science of long and happy life, the way to achieve self-responsibility and the right of health to health. Some facts. The world has awakened to Ayurveda. Many people have notions about Ayurveda as a natural system of healing and preservation of health. Ayurvedic centers are being opened in many cities across the globe. Professionals are being trained at different levels of complexity and depth everywhere. Greatness of the medicinal plants, true revolution in the area of health, science, culture, ecology, economics, politics, and society. There are fields of action of Ayurveda that can be integrated into existing health systems in our countries. First field, emphasize on disease prevention and health promotion, such the extraordinary system of Swasthya Vrutya, including the practice of yoga as yoga therapy, taking Ayurveda as a diagnostic system, working health education and transformation of habits and values. Second field, in the treatment of chronic disease, in which the methods of modern medicines are incapable of modifying the evolution of the diseases. They are very costly and with many long-term side effects. Our government, I talk about Brazil, our government invests more than $1,200 a month per patient in the purchase of drugs of high complexity, of dubious efficacy and high toxicity. In 2009, the Brazilian government spent $1.9 billion only in the purchase of these medicines. Brazil needs to make a decision. Of course, this is correspond all of the globe. I said about my country specifically. Brazil needs to make a decision, whatever it may be, on these points. Should we invest a lot in a few, forgetting that there is too little for many? We cannot postpone this decision further. This is a study doing here in our country. Our experience from many colleagues around the world has been extraordinary in changing the evolution of degenerative disease of the nervous and muscular system, autoimmune diseases, genetic-based chronic metabolic disease, chronic vascular disease, and many others. In my 40 years of medicinal practice, I can say that my therapeutic efficacy evolved intensively when I began to practice Ayurveda with Panchakarma, Rasayana, and the use of special medicine over the last 25 years. The third field is the incorporation of a spiritual value for health, in addition to the values of physical, mental, and social well-being. Vichara, self-knowledge, to contribute to the solve the complex problems of dead ends that humanity has put itself. Our suggestion, let's to create a forum for communication, discussion, and joint decisions with the social media tools that we have today, with representatives from various associations, institutions, scientists from around the world, and Ayush representatives to give a greater dynamic to mutual aid and collaboration. Create a database of published papers that have achieved significant scores in the medical system evidence-based to have arguments to all spheres. It's very important because, for example, my experience to treat my specialization is intensive care. When I finished my graduation in 1981, 30% of the people have a heart attack that in the place where have this attack, in his house, in another place. This place don't reach the hospital because heart attacks one disease, infarction is one disease. In 30% of the case, the first symptom is the death. And now the same number, 30% of the people have this heart attack, have died in that place before to reach the hospital. All the technologies of the hospital is not enough because it's a disease for the lifestyle. What really cause change in these numbers? Only three things: the right diet, right exercise, and mental peace. And this is yoga and Ayurveda. Yoga and Ayurveda promoting all of these three things in large scales in the world for centuries, and now in all of the world. Some events like this event we are doing now, promoting for the United Conscientiousness International, are very important to spread these possibilities to the world. The practice of asana, pranayama, relaxation, meditation, right food, right exercise, and mental peace change more than any other form of technology. And if you put together yoga and Ayurveda in the modern world, we, of course, get many benefits. All these people are participating in this event. We can do together, and we can do something together in this field to help all the people. For that, I would like to invoke the blessing of Dhanvantari for the promote health in all of the world, and invoke Ganesha to remove all the obstacles for that. Om Ganana Tva Ganapatigum Havamahe Kavim Kavinam Upamashravastamam Jeshtarajam Brahmanaspata Anashrumbam Nuti Bisida Sadanam Om Shrimam Mahaganapataye Namaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Dhamvantaraye Amrutakala Shahastaya Sarvamaya Vinashanaya Trilokanataya Vishnave Swaha. Om Narayanaya Vidmahe Vaidyarajaya Dhimahi Tanno Dhamvantari Prachodayate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Namaste. Thank you again for all the organizers, and blessing for all the participants of this event. Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ruge. We always feel blessed getting your insights on this topic of Ayurveda. The kind of service you are doing to the humanity through this science, yogic science of Ayurveda, is highly commendable. United Consciousness will keep seeking your blessings in future also. Thank you very much for being with us today. Thank you.
Thank you.
On behalf of United Consciousness, I thank Dr. Jose Ruge Ribeiro for coming onto the platform of United Consciousness and sharing his views. Thank you so much, Dr. Jose. Our next vibrant speaker is the Indian spiritual guru. He is the one who is phenomenal for the seekers who are searching for the real knowledge and meaning of life. It is our honor to welcome Swami Chidananda Puriji, who is the head of Advaita Ashram, Kolattur in Kerala. He is also the author of 30 plus books, including commentaries on Shri Ram Gita, Shiv Mahima Stotram, and many others. He has been honored with many awards like Madhavji Puraskaram, Swami Siddhinathananda Puraskaram, Pandita Ratnam Puraskaram, Janamashtami Puraskaram, etc. We are extremely grateful to him for providing such a glorious opportunity to listen to him and enlighten our lives with his words of wisdom. We now welcome Swamiji.
Om Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryandam Vande Guru Paramparam. I'm very happy to be here in this Yoga Week, being organized by United Consciousness Conclave in connection with the International Yoga Day. There are so many sessions, and in this session, I am asked to speak on samadhi, the state of absorption. To be frank, we cannot speak about samadhi. It is unspeakable. From where all words retrace along with the mind, that is the state of samadhi. It's a deep experience where there is no the experienced world. And regarding such a stage, how words can speak? No, it is impossible. It is impossible. But still, just like a guru or a mother or a father points a goal, say a high mountain or a vast ocean, he is pointing or she is pointing. It is not mountain or it is not ocean. But the one who sees that, he will, of course, cognize what is being pointed. In the same way, rishis who always stayed in that experience which is above words and above mind, out of love and compassion, they taught unto the world with the help of many words. And these words are Yoga Shastra and Vedanta Shastra. As teachers of Veda did, we can also give some pointers. And while hearing this, we must have a clear idea within. It has nothing to do with samadhi. And the realm of samadhi is above all words and our even the mind. See, we are in this world. So we are seeing this. We are observing this. So we are the seers or we are the observers. And the world is that which is observed or seen. Always we are in this world. We are in the seen world. And caught by many, many things of the world, we are moving behind them. Many, many sciences are, or branches of science are growing. All are connected with the observed world, the seen world. And I am behind all this for enjoyments, for this, for that. And I am in the midst of waves coming one after another, incessant waves. See, there are thousands and thousands of waves in the ocean. From where these waves are manifesting? From the ocean. And what is there in between two waves? It is the ocean. And then comes the question, what are these waves? It is ocean. There is nothing other than ocean. And these waves which we are seeing as different from the water plane, it is nothing but water. So there is no wave other than the ocean. Now, all the waves are coming from ocean and staying in the ocean. In the midst of two waves, it is ocean. In the same way, from where all the vrittis, that is thought waves, are coming. See, they are following, they are running behind many objects, objects of the world or objects of the seen world. So from where these vrittis, these waves of the mind, they are coming. There is no doubt. They are coming from the bodha, chit, the knowledge absolute, which is my real nature. It is the source. Not only it is the source, it is the substratum. And it is unto that all these waves are going back, entering into again. That is the Shuddha Bodha, the pure consciousness, which am I. And this me is the seer. This me is the seer. And I am seeing the world. I cannot count the parts of the world. It is innumerable, uncountable. And when my thought waves are moving behind them, they will be fractionalized into millions and millions of parts. And all these are coming from my own self. That is the seer. See, this knowledge, this realization, coming out of contemplation on the self, or by asking the question, who am I, what is my real nature? I am entering into my own self, where there is no differentiation of the seer, seen, and the process of seeing. See, normally, in all our cognitions, there are the triputis. Triputis are the knower, the known, and the process of knowing. The seer, the seen, and the process of seeing. The hearer, the heard, and the process of hearing. Always these triputis are there. And we can say the inquirer and the inquired, and the process of inquiring. All these are connected with the world. And when I am going back into my own self, of course, with the help of Guru and Shastra, I am going to my own self. There is no this differentiation. I am absorbed in myself. And what is that state? That state is, of course, we can or we have to reach that state through deeper and deeper contemplation. And that will naturally lead us to deep dhyana. Dhyana is sometimes translated as meditation. So in that state of dhyana, in that state of nididhyasana, all these tripudis are vanishing. How? From the knowledge that the seer, the knowledge absolute, it is becoming as the seer seen and the process of seeing tripudis. All the waves vanished. All the word differentiation goes. I am absorbed in myself. The self, where there is no seer, seeing, and the process of seeing differentiation. That is the end of all inquiries. That is the end of all inquiries. So this is where our intellect is standing peacefully within. There is no even dhyana and the dhyata, the meditator and the meditated, or the process of meditation. Dhyadhyane parityajya kramadhyaika gocharam nivata deepavachittam samadhirabhidhiyate. So the meditator and the meditation that goes is a natural process. We are not pressing, we are not compelling, it is not a physical activity. Actually, all physical activities goes up to Sukshma Sadhana. When we are entering the state of dharana, of course, we are making our mind focus on a single object, desha bandha chittasya dharana. But when it is established without physical effort, then it is dhyana. Tatra pratyekatanata dhyanam. It is the same as nididhyasana. Because when I am hearing from Guru and I am thinking, so many questions are there, the inquirer is working in the field of inquiry, and Shastras are there. The world is around me, I am in the world. But at this when this sadhana samskara, constant practice, lead me to the inner absorption within me, all this differentiation vanishes. And now it is the state of samadhi. Samadhi. The intellect is the same, without projections. See, when I am caught by the avidya, ignorance, I am making a lot of false identifications. I am doing so many superimpositions. I am superimposing many things on me. And in turn, I consider many things as myself. this body I am, or the senses, or the prana, or the mind, or the intellect. So many superimpositions are there. And of course, false identifications are there. But when all these waves of superimpositions and false identifications are gone, I am absorbed in myself. And this myself, without the triputi. So I am well established in myself. That state about which we cannot speak, because it is experience. And there is no even the experiencer and experienced differentiation. So it is about the realm of words. It is about the realm of Shastras. Up to this point, Shastras can go. Take the highest Shastra, take the Vedanta, Upanishads, Yoga Shastra, whatever be the Shastras. All Shastras can go up to this point. And this is above Shastras. It is above all dualities. That is the highest goal. That is the highest goal of both human life and Yoga Shastra. Of course, that is the goal of Vedanta Shastra. Here the differentiation of all Shastras goes, you see. And that is the supreme state of freedom. Everybody wants freedom. We are all behind freedom. We are in search of freedom. Where we will get absolute freedom. Wherever there are freedom in the world, freedom of speech, freedom of expression, this, that, all are limited. There is no limitless freedom in the world. But still we are in search of freedom, the absolute freedom. And where it is, where there is no false identifications, where there is no superimposition, and I am freely resting in myself. I'm not making myself into many ways. I'm not identifying with the intellect. I am not identifying with the mind. When I am identifying with mind and intellect, of course, waves are there. Then comes a question to a man of knowledge, to a man of realization who is well established in the state of samadhi. Is there no mind? Is there no intellect? The answer is yes, yes, of course. Even the Vijnani is living with a mind and intellect. Then naturally he is seeing the world, he is in the world. But he is not identifying with the seen world. That identification has gone. So whatever comes and whatever goes, he is totally free. He is totally free. Of course, physically, many things will come. Sickness will come. As long as we are in the body, a constitution of Vata, Pitta and Kapha, Tridosha, some imbalance will come. And as long as we are in the body, Prarabdha is there. There is no use in saying no Prarabdha. Of course, Prarabdha is there. Tridosha are there. But a man of realization, what realization? I am the absolute knowledge, where there is no inquirer, inquired differentiation. I am not the Tripurti. And there is no identification with the intellect and mind, who is well established in himself, well established in the self. So he can view the world, he can experience the world as a witness, and his inner self is full of freedom, absolute freedom, because he is not going here and there and entangling with the many things of the world. He is not binding himself with the seen world. So, this state of knowledge, the state of realization, it is the absolute freedom to which all beings are searching. This is the absolute happiness which we call in the Shastra Ananda. So this Samadhi is the state of Ananda. This Samadhi is the state of Chit. The Samadhi is the state of Sat. So when we hear this, when we read Shastra, we must understand words cannot enter there. Yeah. So just like pointing a top mountain peak or a vast ocean, all the Shastras are giving some pointers. We have to understand the goal of that. In the same way, we are discussing about something which we cannot discuss. Namaste to all.
Thank you, respected Swamiji. The way you said we are discussing something that cannot be discussed. So beautifully, you explained the concept of Triputi and how the absence of Triputi is samadhi when I am absorbed in myself. I'm sure this deep wisdom must have made this difficult concept more clear for many of the audience. Thank you very much for blessing us, Swamiji. Truly blessed with your
Namaste.
On behalf of United Consciousness, I thank Swami Chidanand Puriji for coming onto the platform of United Consciousness and sharing his views. Thank you so much. I'm honored to welcome our next guest, Professor Dharm P.S. Bhavuk. He is Professor of Management and Culture and Community Psychology, University of Hawaii at Manaus, USA. His research interests include indigenous psychology and management and cross-cultural training. He has published more than 110 papers in book chapters and made over 250 presentations internationally. He is a founding fellow of International Academy of Intercultural Research, fellow of Indian Academy of Management, foreign fellow of National Academy of Psychology, India, and was Ed Smith Richardson's junior visiting fellow, Center for Creative Leadership, Greensboro, North California, since 2009 to 2010, and he is the recipient of many awards. So, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together to welcome Professor Dharm P.S. Bhavuk.
Namaste. Am I audible? Am I visible, audible?
Yes, you are visible. Yes, you are visible and audible both.
Okay, good. Thank you. Am I starting now?
Please do. Please do.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. The topic given to me is tapas. Diligence is the seed to divine. I have written a paper analyzing what is tapas by using the 36 verses of the Bhagavad Gita. And in this presentation, I'm going to present the summary of that and also connect it with the topic, diligence is the seed to divine. So basically, it's kind of a new definition, but I will build that on the definition that comes from the Bhagavad Gita. 9 themes emerge when I analyze the 36 verses. So the first theme that emerged is that tapas is a Daivik Sampada. There are 26 Daivik Sampadas that are listed in the 16th canto of the Bhagavad Gita. Abhayam Sattva Samsuddhi Jnana Yoga Vyavasthiti Danang Damang Cha Yanyascha Swadhyayas Tapa Arjavam. So tapas comes in the very first slok when 9 or 11 of the Daivik Sampadas are listed. What it tells us is that tapas is a virtue. It's a positive quality. So virtue is actually higher than a quality or a positive quality, and it is to be cultivated. The second theme that emerges is that tapas can be sattvic, rajasic, or tamasic. So we might have heard this word sushk tapasi or tapasvi, one who does tapas but kind of does not have a good understanding of how to interact in the world. Think of sadism, hurting your physical self and your mind. So that would be considered tamasic tapas. Whereas sattvic tapas is basically serving others, doing lok sangrah, and we'll get more of it as we look into the third theme that emerges about tapas. So tapas needs to be cultivated at 3 levels, in the level of the mind, in the level of the vachan or speech, and at the level of the physical body or action. So we need to practice tapas at all 3 levels. And then Sri Krishna says very emphatically that tapas, yajna, dan, and karma are not to be given up. And these 3 are also related to Shraddha. So if our Shraddha is sattvic, then our tapas becomes sattvic. If our Shraddha is tamasic, our tapas becomes tamasic. In the 10th canto, Sri Krishna says that he himself is tapas personified. So that should tell us how important this virtue is. So if we are cultivating tapas, we are becoming one with Sri Krishna. Tapas is also presented as a type of yajna in the 4th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. And tapas is also presented as the necessary condition, but Shraddha is necessary. So without Shraddha, if we only have tapas, then our sadhana is not successful. And in the 18th canto of the Bhagavad Gita, tapas is also presented as a quality of Brahmana. And what that would mean in our time today is anybody who wants to lead others by being exemplars must cultivate tapas. And there are 9 verses where Arjuna is referred to as Parantapa. And so Arjuna is a Paramatapasvi, an exemplar of tapasya. And we know the stories in Arjuna's life that tells us that he was a great tapasvi. He did tapas to obtain Pashupatashra from Lord Shiva himself. So there is no doubt about his being an exemplar of tapas. So 2 ideas kind of emerge out of it. Restraining of the senses is part of tapas, and then cultivation of practices that leads us into inward journey is tapas. So we can see that diligence is embedded in both abhyas and vairagya. So Arjuna in the 6th chapter pleads to Sri Krishna and says, Chanchalam hi manah Krishna pramathi balavadridham tasyahang nigraham manne vayoriva sudushkaram. Hey Krishna, the manas is chanchal. It is pramathi, it churns you around. It is strong. It is dridha. It is impossible to control it. It's like controlling the wind. And since we have now started channeling the energy of wind by using wind turbines, we can see what Sri Krishna says in response is how meaningful. Asamshayam mahabaho mano durnigrahang chalam abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha grihyate. So indeed, Hey Mahabaho, O great Arjuna, it is difficult to control the manas. But through abhyas and through vairagya, we can control it. So the restraining of all the senses is part of tapas.
Your voice is not coming, Professor Bhauk. We can't listen to you. Yes, you're not audible. It is still not audible.
Can you hear now?
No, it is clear. Thank you.
Oh,
Now we can listen to you.
okay. So sorry for the technological glitch. So I was saying the ability to delay gratification, which some of you will recall as emotional intelligence, is basically about tyag of desire, kama, and also the tyag of mamatva. This is all, or all our possessions. And both these require cultivation in action, speech, and thought. So tapas therefore is diligence. Abhyas is diligence. And through that diligence, we are able to cultivate basically anything. So if you think about a mother, a mother makes, does tyag, and that's how she supports the children and the family. So, waking up, getting up before everybody and preparing the home for everybody, that is all part of tapas and part of tyag. So she's giving up her, desire to sleep longer. We also see tapas in sports arena very clearly. The sports people have to do the abhyas and they have to have vairagya. So those of you who saw the movie Dangal, you would recall how the father tells the daughters that eat pickles as much as you like today, because from tomorrow you will not get it. So that is tapas, restraining yourself for being successful. And so through this diligence, abhyas and vairagya, of course we know that we can not only achieve the prayas in the material world, but also the shreyas in the life beyond this world. So these 9 themes basically direct us to delayed gratification. Tapas is basically the tyag of desire and mamatva, and it needs to be cultivated both in 3 areas: action, speech, and thought. And through that, we can approach the divine. And so The divine here for the theme of the conference is this practice then can lead us to become one with ourself, with our Atman. So I will stop there.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Professor Bhaug, for providing us a comprehensive view of tapas and Bhagavad Gita's approach towards it. Your insight is certainly very useful for all the sadhakas, including me. Thank you very much for blessing us in this event. Thank you. Regards.
On behalf of United Consciousness, I thank Professor Dharam P.S. Bhavuk for coming on to the platform of United Consciousness and sharing his views. Thank you so much. I feel honored to welcome our next guest, Mr. Gabriel Arrezola. He is a kinesiologist and a physiotherapist by profession from the University of Mare de Saint Andres. He has done numerous courses in yoga and meditation like Diploma in Motor Sciences and Human Development. Diploma in Yoga from Mexico. He has studied training and sports studies with a medical focus. He has been teaching yoga since 1995 in various educational institutions as yoga and massage teacher in La Paz in several cities in Bolivia, Argentina, Peru, Colombia, Chile, Paraguay, and Mexico. He is invited as a guest and participant in the 9 world meetings of yoga Yogismo in Mexico and Peru. He is the coordinator and collaborator in the UCIYW Yoga and Restorative Yoga Teachers Training. He has been a professor of anatomy and physiology for the 3 years in the medical career of the France Tamayo University of Santa Cruz. He is currently working as an alternative therapist at the Center of Integral Therapies Elements, tutor teacher of the UCIYW Yoga Teachers Training, yoga facilitator and personal development. He has authored many books like Massages, the Yoga of Contact, Anatomy and Risk Management in Yoga, The Initiate. So ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together to welcome Gabriel Arrezola.
Namaste. My name is Gabriel, Gabo for friends. And now we will share a yoga therapy session, a little minutes, 15 minutes of yoga therapy session. The yoga therapy, you can imagine it's a union of two whole words, two whole science, arts, disciplines. The yoga, it's an infinitive word, and the therapy as well. So we can have these minutes to try a very little part of this practice. We will start our practice. Stay or sit in a comfortable position. If you cannot sit in the floor, you can use a chair. You have problems with your article, your knees, you can use a chair, it's not a problem. Inhale, exhale. Inhale by your nose. And now exhale through your mouth. Inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth. Inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth. Now, we will use our mind, our imagination, because when you inhale through your nose, you will imagine you are inhale a light, a shining light. Inhale, and now imagine you inhale a shining light. And when exhale through your mouth, you exhale a smoke. It's probably a heavy smoke. Inhale light, exhale smoke. Relax your shoulder. Inhale light, Exhale smoke. Your mouth, like you are vocalizing a vocal O vocal, a O vocal. Inhale light. Exhale smoke. And clean your body, clean your mind, clean your emotions. Clean all the burdens of your body. Inhale through your nose. Light. Exhale smoke. Free all the emotional burdens when you exhale. In the smoke goes all the problems, all the conflicts, all the issues. All your issues goes in the smoke. Inhale, light, and exhale smoke. And continue. Inhaling light and exhaling smoke. A few minutes more. Cleaning your mind, cleaning your body, your energy. Now, stretch your feet. Goes, point your heels forward, like me, point your heels forward. Your ischus goes backward. Contract your abdominal muscles. Stretch your knees. Maybe you need a pillow, both pillow or one pillow under your knees. It's because when you put a pillow under your knees, you will contract your quadriceps muscles. Now contract your abdominal muscles. Align and stretch your arms, your elbow. Smile with your clavicle bones. You smile with your clavicle bones and smile with your lips too. Inhale, exhale. Stretch your elbows. Push your navel or belly button against your spine. Smile. And your fingers goes out from your hand. Your fingers goes out from your hand and your head goes out from your body. And stretch anything. Stretch your knees, stretch your feet, your foot, your head out from your body, your arm out from your body, your fingers out of your hands. Inhale, exhale through your nose. Now you inhale and exhale through your nose. Smile. is because when you smile and you contract your facial muscles, your mastical muscles will relax. It's synergy system. You relax your jaw because sometimes you still baking when you are with stress or furious. We still baking. We still are mammal sometimes. So we need to relax our jaw, relax our mastical muscles, and it will help if you smile. Inhale, exhale, relax your shoulder. Inhale and exhale and relax your shoulder. Now you can sit in a comfortable position again. Maybe you can do it in a chair. But if you are in a floor, we can do a Siddhasana with your left heel between your genital and anus, and the other feet, your other foot over your heel. Align your spine, and now we will use again our imagination. Inhale and exhale by your anus. We will work our nadi system. We will clean our rivers of energy. Inhale and exhale by your anus. Shankini nadi. And now inhale and exhale by your genitals. Kuhunari, kuhunari. Inhale and exhale by your genitals. Now inhale and exhale through your mouth, through your lips, not mouth, lips, through your lips. Imagine the air is getting through through your lips, and out through your lips. Now imagine you inhale and exhale by your ears. By your ears. Ears. You inhale and exhale. Yashasvini or Yahasvini, Nadi, and Pusha or Payashvini Nadi. Inhale and exhale through your ears, left and right, both at the same time. Now inhale and exhale by your eyes. Inhale and exhale by your eyes or through your eyes. Hastihiwa and Gandhari Nadi. Nadi. Now inhale and exhale through the cartilage of your nose wings. Here, the cartilage of your nose wings. You will inhale and exhale through the cartilage through your cartilage of your nose wings. Ida and finger la navi. Now, join your finger this way, in similar like a Hakini Mudra, and put your fingers, annular and the fifth and fourth fingers in your mouth. The medial finger, the third finger, in your nose, and the second finger in your eyes, and the fifth finger in your ears. Inhale. Exhale. Now, in these membranes from your hand, you will put your hands in the middle of your thorax. Inhale and exhale through your heart. Through your heart. Imagine your nose is in your sternal bone. Yeah, imagine your nose is in your sternal bone, and inhale and exhale through your sternal bone. Smile. Relax your shoulder. Align your body, your back. Continue smiling, cleaning your energy system. Relax your shoulders. Smile and inhale and exhale through your sternal bone. Your hands together. I'm really honored to this invitation. I'm grateful to participate in this important, very important meeting. Thank you, really thank you. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you very much, Gabriel ji. The yoga sadhana you told us is very inspiring, innovative, and very beneficial. I was personally doing it when you were demonstrating it. It is so excellent. I'm sure that all the participants and all the viewers will certainly be benefited. Thank you very much for blessing us today.
Thank you, thank you.
On behalf of United Consciousness, I thank Mr. Gabriel Arazola for coming on to the platform of United Consciousness. Thank you so much. Yoga is an ancient Indian science which helps to improve physical, mental, social and spiritual well-being. The exercises of yoga triggers the release of feel-good chemical in our brain and helps in mental health. To know more about it, let's have the panel discussion on the topic, Yoga and Mental Health. In the panel, we also have with us Mr. Cosmin Constantin, who has spent 20 years of his life in sports and later became a fitness coach. Then he started teaching Hatha Yoga classes, which changed everything completely. He visited India, where he studied intensive courses of Ashtanga Yoga, Pranayama, Mantra, meditation, Yoga Nidra, philosophy and asana with Yogi Sunil Sharma and Yogi Kamal Singh at Tattva Yoga Shala in Rishikesh. Also in India, Rishikesh, alongside Swami Narayanananda, Dr. Jose Ruge Ribeiro Jr., Brazil. He also did the course of psychology, yoga and Ayurveda cosmology in Parmat Niketan Ashram and Anand Lok. In Sudha Sabha Ashram, Brazil, along with Dr. Ruge, he studied Ayurveda, Sudha Raja Yoga, meditation and scriptures on Sanatan Dharma on yoga line called Sudha Dharma Mandalam. The last 4 years he began to learn Nidra Yoga, Prana Kriya, Mantra Yoga and Yantra Yoga in the tradition of Kashmirian Shaivism along with Andre Rail. Today we also have with us Arjuna Gastav Plaza, a renowned yoga and meditation teacher. He started his yoga path at a very early age and has over 30 years of practice and study of yoga. His sharing and presentation of yoga includes various aspects of the tradition such as Hatha Yoga, meditation, pranayam, philosophy, yoga metaphysics and yoga nidra. He has participated as a presenter and teacher in international yoga events like Bhakti Feast, Joshua Tree, California, USA, Dakini Festival, Yoga General Conference, Moscow. With a steady, firm, yet humorous and kind teaching style, he shares the wisdom and this ancient tradition with everyone. Our next guest is Keleahana Silve, who is hula artist and choreographer. She always sought to promote Hawaiian culture abroad. She founded the first Hawaiian dance school in France, Halau Hula o Menau, named after the valley in which she was born. After 30 years in Paris, she returned to Hawaii and continues to teach Haumana in Alaska and China. Through her classes at Kapiolena Hospital Women's Center and the Salvation Army's Drug Recovery Program, she has become a pioneer in the promising new field of hula for health. She also participated in the annual Talk Story Festival in Honolulu and released a CD of Hawaii tales, chants and music. On behalf of United Consciousness, I welcome our next guest, Mr. Christoph Stay. He is a Polish citizen. He is doctorate in physical education and sports sciences and has been employed as an assistant professor at Jan Długosz University, Częstochowa in Poland since 2012. Earlier in his life, he worked for 20 years in various states in the United States. In last 15 years, he was in Silicon Valley, where he was employed as a senior software analyst in different companies known worldwide for introducing breakthrough technologies. He has been practicing yoga for about 40 years, as detailed in an interview he gave to Yoga International magazine, published in January 2006 issue. Under the title Yoga Behind the Iron Curtain, he has been to India more than 30 times. He has spent 10 years in India, where there he obtained 2 academic qualifications, graduating with the diploma in yoga education from Kaivalya Dhamma Institute and a master's degree in physical education from the Banaras Hindu University in Varanasi. Today's panel discussion will be moderated by Dr. Vikrant Singh Tobar, convener United Consciousness. Dr. Tomer is an acknowledged trainer, academician, scholar, writer, and a management consultant. He's a freelance trainer and served the cabinet ministers of state, MLAs, police officers, and tycoons of the business world. His aim and objective is universal brotherhood and happiness through harmonizing the knowledge from the ancient scriptures into our lives. So I welcome all our guests for panel discussion.
Namaste.
Welcome all the respected guests. We acknowledge your presence, Gustavo ji. We acknowledge your presence, Cosmin ji, Keleahana ji, and Christoph ji. Dear friends, we are gathered here to talk about one of the very important topics in our present times, yoga and mental health. So The world today we are living, mental health and issues related to mental health are really the prime concern of the world today. We'll begin our discussion with Arjuna Gustavoji. How do we define mental health, Arjunaji? What is mental health? In your definition, how do you define it?
Namaste. Namaste to all. Uh, Dear Dr. Obikant, thank you so much for this invitation and this participation. As you can see, I'm here again in the celebration of the International Yoga Day. Many students yoga out behind me practicing yoga and searching for this physical and also mental health. Uh, for me, within the traditions of yoga, the traditions of meditation, and the traditions of the internal knowledge, mental health is the capacity of the mind to see life as it is, not through interpretations, not through filters, not through different ideas, but seeing reality as it is. Many of the times we are suffering, we are complaining, or we are whining because we are attached to our ideas of how life is supposed to be, and we don't understand just how life is. Where our attachment takes us to the past and takes us to develop depression for not having what we could have, what we had in the past. And in the other side, we have this anxiety for something that is yet to come, that is not here now. So in the philosophy of in Eastern philosophy in general, it is called the say by Shantideva in Tibetan wisdom. He say if you have a problem, if problem has a solution, why you worry? If you have a problem and the problem has no solution, why you worry? There's just no need to worry. So for mental health is being able to understand life as it is, being able to see, to accept the mind as the mind is, and just stabilize the mind and see this beautiful flow of life. You know, mind can become. It's said in the Bhagavad Gita, mind can be our best friend or can be a worst enemy. So mind is just an instrument, not to be controlled, but not to be. What I say is, if the mind is controlling us and we are not controlling the mind becomes, the the boss. We don't want the mind to be the boss. The mind is a good servant. So just have the mind as a good servant.
Thank you. Thank you. So Arjuna ji mentioned that mental health means seeing things as they are rather than seeing things as we are. So what's your take, Ilohana ji? How do you see what is mental health?
Aloha, and thank you
Aloha.
for including me in this panel on this very important subject. I believe that through the philosophy of the Hawaiians and the practice of hula, we come to a very similar conclusion about mental health. There's a word that we use as a greeting often in Hawaii, the word aloha. But if you analyze the meaning of the word, if you take it apart, alo is to be present, and ha is the breath. And so if you are truly present in your breath, in the present moment, then that's a tremendous help to being in touch with reality, to being truly in the present moment, in your total being, in harmony with nature. And like yoga, hula seeks to share this connection that we all innately have within each of us. We are nature, we are a part of nature. There's no question. And if we truly feel that, then we are in harmony with our surroundings. And mental health is not a problem.
Okay. So Kilohana ji mentioned that to be in the present moment, to be with the breath in present is aloha, but it is easier said than done for the world today. So let me come to Christoph ji. Majority of the worries or the problems, as Arjuna ji said, they are connected with either worries for future or anxiety for future or some regret for what has happened in past. So Christoph ji, how to deal with this? Because mind goes in like a pendulum, past and future. How to remain in present? It is easy to say than to do. What's your take, Christoph ji? Please unmute and speak, Christoph ji.
All right, now you can hear me. I hope.
Yep.
So I think perfect answer to your question provides yoga. It is a full set of all the tools, methods, techniques that you can use using yogic curriculum. There are many ways of handling your mental health, and we never should forget that the physical body also participates in that. So the way how Patanjali looks at a human being is that to have the integrated look, psychosomatic approach to dealing with mental health. Of course, the ruling factor is our mind. Consists of many different aspects. I don't believe we have time to go into that. But starting properly at the somatic level, it is very, very important. And I like to lecture and talk about these things using verbiage like optimal peak performance. Optimal peak performance, it can happen when all these different parts of our personality are functioning in a homeostasis, in a very balanced way. Yoga is a mastermind of all these approaches. And to start with, I like to speak about proper ultimate diet, what I call, and also the aspect of Ashtanga Kriyas, which allow to reach the level where the mental state is at the highest peak of performance.
Okay. Christoph ji, we understood you mentioned about optimal peak performance, importance of diet in keeping mind peaceful at the moment. Cosman ji would like to ask from you, continuing the same stream of thought, in today's generation, the big problem of mental health is connected with the issues about the future, worries of future. So how do you approach towards it? There are some youth, they are concerned about their career and they worry. There is lots of peer pressure. What will you suggest them? Why not to worry them?
Hello, everyone. In my opinion, the the issue with the young generation is that it is overstimulated, and this overstimulation is depleting. In Ayurveda, we have so-called ojas, and the ojas is not only physical ojas, it's mental ojas. But to go beyond these scientific terms and words, the ojas is the capacity of the mind of adapting, of taking care of the body, of the sensations, of the emotions, of the
I'm sorry.
feelings.
If I may request guests who are not speaking to switch off the mic, some dissonance is there. respected guests who are not. Yes, thank you very much. Carry on, Kasmanji.
Yeah. So this mental stability, this mental health, in Ayurveda we can find a lot of yoga is talking about more philosophical, but Ayurveda is more practical in this area of mental health.
Mhm,
So the Ayurveda is talking about the ojas, the mental ojas,
mhm.
which is the capacity of a person, of the mind of that person, to perceive, to adapt, to digest the emotions, the feelings, and everything that is a stimul that is going through the five senses. So um, the problem with the youth and this generation is that this mental stability is very light. It's because of the overstimulation. So what we can do, um, practically, we have to choose a way of not getting attached too much, not getting involved too much in this outside stimulus. We have to find a balance between the social life, which is very important. We have to find a balance in the diet, which is also very important. And we have to find a balance between the inner world and outside world, because if you go too much outside with the senses and we are overstimulated through the outside stimulus, we forget about where is built this mental ojas, and where is the place where this mental ojas digesting all this outside information. So yes.
Okay.
uh,
Thank you. Thank you. Kosmanji mentioned about to be specific about the stimulus that you receive, and it should be balanced. Arjunaji, to connect with what you said earlier and in line with what Kosmanji also mentioned, you said seeing things as they are. So, how does it mean? What does it mean to a common person? When I say see thing, like for example, if I have a financial problem and I have to pay many bills, how should I see things as they are and not as I am? Can you elaborate upon it with taking a small this kind of practical example? What does it mean seeing things as it is, and how will it reduce mental stress? Please unmute and speak.
So most of the times we do not want to accept reality as it is. We want to see based on fantasy. We want to be based on ideas, and we want to be based on myths. That's why in the wisdom of Buddhism, it is so much important, this path of the Four Noble Truths. And the first noble truth is acknowledging that in life there is suffering, the reality of suffering. So there are many things, in life in general that happens to us that we don't want to experience. Let's go for one very simple one. You're talking about paying bills, taxes. That's easy. Let's talk about something more difficult, that is death. When we don't accept death, we also deny our right to live. We're also denying the happiness of living. If we are afraid of death, we are afraid of life. If we understand life as it is, first we understand that there's never death. Even in the physical, if we are able to see things as they are, even in the physical plane, death never happens. In turn, this material thing that is apparently dying is never dying, it's just transforming. The physical form is just transforming again in the different elements, transforming again in the earth, being part of earth. So one of the main ideas of being able to see realities as it is, we tend to see reality as disconnected. We believe that there's the such thing as independence. Like you live there, I live here. but we forget that we are all interconnected. We are always interconnected. That's why in the wisdom of the East, in all the traditions of meditations, and we have to understand that yoga is a tradition of meditation. Yoga it was never meant to be yoga for well-being. It's not about wellness. It's about moksha. Yoga is about moksha. It's about obtaining liberation, and obtaining liberation from our basic suffering of seeing this disconnected life. That's also why yoga is called union. There's no separation. If I ask this question, does a mountain exist? Some people will say yes. Why a mountain exists? And what is a mountain? It's just an extension of the earth. So the mountain does not exist by itself. The earth does not exist by itself. We don't exist by itself. We are all interconnected. So if we start seeing things as they are, we start seeing all interconnected. If you have bills to pay, it's your responsibility. If the word responsibility, the ability to respond. That's the etymology of the word responsibility, the ability to respond. So this is a situation in life. You have been doing this and you have been doing that. Now you have to face your bills, and with honesty, with a clear mind, you have to find a way to go out, not to go out from them, but to pay your bills, to find a way to negotiate, to talk. You know, we cannot be general in this sense. To each situation, we have to observe each
Thank you.
situation.
Thank you. Thank you. So, Arjuna ji mentioned that take responsibility, accept things, because whatever you resist shall persist. And it's a situation, not a problem. So don't call it as a problem. It's a situation to be dealt with. Thank you very much. So, Kilohana ji, you mentioned about being in the present aloha. Now there are so many worries. How can I be in the present? Like, for example, I need to study right now, and recently I had a breakup. So I'm thinking about those memories, lovely memories with my beloved. How can I be in the present moment? And it is creating mental issues for me. I need to study right now, but my mind is haunting me with the beautiful memories I had with her. How can I be in present moment?
I'm still thinking about the notion of responsibility that was described so beautifully. And with that notion of responsibility that the Hawaiians call kuleana, it's this interconnection. We carry responsibility because we're a part of the whole. And this leads to the importance of protocol, of asking for permission that exists in hula, in Hawaiian philosophy, where we're all interconnected and we're part of the universe. We're part of nature. There's no separation, in fact. And so in hula training, if you're going to weave or sew a lei to wear, before you even begin, you ask permission of the plant before taking the ferns or the leaves or the flowers. And I think of what you brought up, this relationship um, that is no longer in one's life. It somehow is, where the connection through love is always there. The person may not be physically with us in the present moment, but aloha pauole, love never dies and always with us.
So beautifully, she mentioned that if it is true love, then it will be always there with us. And if it is not with us, then probably you may need to doubt the intensity and the reality of feeling that you call love. Thank you very much, Kilohana ji. And when you feel loved, you feel complete. When you feel lack of love, you feel incomplete, insufficiency. And that insufficiency leads not to do be optimal and peak in our performance. Christoph ji, you mentioned about getting optimal peak performance. But if I am really suffering from some mental issues, I'm not talking about specific medical mental issues. I'm talking about general mental issues for some or the other reason. How can I do my peak performance when I'm not able to? Any tips for that?
You know, I have studied profoundly one of the most ancient techniques of psychosomatic techniques known under the name of Surya Namaskar. And I have developed a very high intensity version of that. Just to say how intense it is sufficient to mention that in half an hour, I may lose 1 kg body weight. And if I go for 1,008, that would be over 4 kg body weight. I found it that the intensity of such practice naturally will keep away all other things, because you will not be able to perform at that level. So, emotions, because you're talking about emotions, they are very much overwhelming our minds. However, I found that if you include your body and your mind is fully focused on the here and now, then this is possibly the best way of handling this kind of emotional trauma you are mentioning. I have been through a partition with my ex-wife. It has taken a very long time. It happened in California some time ago. And I found that that practice, the intensity of that practice, you can choose any practice, any ritual. But if you do something every day and a mental condition comes to you, then you can relate to that practice and have it performed with your 100% on the physical level, emotional level, and mental level. And that way, you will be much closer to your optimal peak performance. So basically, I would suggest just turn to that very ancient cross fitness practice, which has so many elements in it. It's very simple, and you just use it as a tool. But this is just a sample tool. I happen to play with Surya Namaskar for over 35 years, and I understand its values very well. So this is my suggestion. Take a technique of that nature.
Thank you very much, Christoph ji. Cosmin ji, how can I develop my mental health? Some practical executionable tips instead of waiting for mental health to deteriorate and then to start developing. How can I start working on my mental health right away? What things should I do from tomorrow onwards?
Uh, the most important thing, I think, we have to learn to listen our mental health, because our mental health, in the moment that we want to improve it, is maybe is already altered. So maybe it is in a point that we need to recover. So that recovery, beginning with a listening. We have to
Sorry,
listen.
Cosmin ji, can others switch off the mic? It will remove the dissonance. Thank you. Yes, carry on.
So first of all, we have to learn to listen our inner sensations, our inner feelings, to observe our interaction with the outside world, with the also inner world, and from there we have to learn to begin the journey. From the inside is a little bit difficult. I think what Dr. Christoph said, maybe the body can be a good tool, the first tool, where also Ayurveda is talking about this, to learn to begin with the body. And I think relaxation, listening and relaxation are the two of the best tools which we can use when we are talking about mental health, because nowadays we can find that yoga has become, in my opinion, has become a tool of through which we can hidden our past. So uh, it's not very sincere when you hidden everything from the past with a new tool, which is can be yoga or pills, or I don't know, a sports, or maybe a food, or relationships and so on. I think you need a moment of listening in silence, of what you feel, what you digest from the outside, from inside. After, you have to make a pact of with the relaxation, to find the relaxation in your daily life. Like you can begin with 5, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, I don't know, relaxation of the body first time, because the body is the tool which is carrying the mental health. And after, we can talk about more deeper aspects of the practice. Ayurveda is talking about the food intake, some plants, some herbs, but this is only like maximum 10% from what we can do with our attitude of listening and relaxation. But these are interconnected. The listening of what do you feel, what do you really feel before going into a practice, before going into something new that can take your attention to that tool or practice. Maybe it's better to go deeper, to go beyond, to go not forward, just deeper, to go backwards, and to reconnect with what
Thank you,
was.
Prophet. Yes, yes. Thank you. Kilohana ji, some to do tips. What can be done from tomorrow itself to rejuvenate the mental health?
I believe that yoga practice or hula have some daily life. Yeah.
Ye- We
But
lost your voice in between. We lost your voice in between. Please speak again.
I believe that in daily life, very small, with- or hula, that is in one's daily life is a to the inner ground.
I'm afraid your voice is not reaching us, Kilohana ji, for some reason, maybe network. Uh, in one line, if you can repeat again the complete summary of whatever you said in one line.
I believe that it's essential to have a discipline in one's life, whether it is yoga or the practice of hula. It grounds us, it connects us to everything around us, to nature, to others, to the universe. And it's on our theme of mental health, something that, if it could be taught in schools, some meditation or some simple hula movements or breathing every day, I think that would be beneficial for all of society.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Dear friends, uh, our respected guest from different parts of the world gave us some very practical tools to improve upon our mental health. We discussed in this, Arjunaji mentioned that mental health is ability to see things as they are without attachment, and a state of mind where when things are there, I'm not stressed by their presence, and then things are not there. I'm not missing them. Just accepting things as they are, seeing things as they are. Acceptance is a very strong tool in improving the mental health, because whatever you resist shall persist. Accept that yes, there is pain. Accept the pain, don't deny it. As Buddha says tathata. He also said that ability to respond is called responsibility. Instead of cripping on what has happened, take responsibility in your hands. Call it a situation rather than problem. Because if a problem has a solution, then why worry? And if a problem does not have solution, then also why should you worry? Kilohana ji mentioned the aloha way of living. She said, alo means to be in present, ha means breath, to be with the breath, to remain in the present. She mentioned about Kolihana means an inner interconnection between everybody of us, me with myself, even asking for permission. As she said, that even if you're taking a flower, asking the permission from the plant itself, we all are connected. When we feel connected, we feel loved. And there should be a discipline in life. A disciplined life helps us to be mentally elevated. You can choose any discipline and follow that discipline. Cosmic G mentioned about ojas, that ojas stimulates us and it revitalizes us. He says we are surrounded by lots of stimulus, to be wise in choosing which stimulus to entertain and which not to entertain. He also mentioned about the importance of balanced diet. What you take from mouth, what you listen, what you see, all forms of diet, if they are regulated and right, then certainly you will have better mental health. If you are surrounded by the people who speak ill, then it may go down. Choose which stimulus you want to focus upon. And he also mentioned not only about listening, outside stimulus, listen to yourself also. Self listening, swadhyaya. Take out time from your life to sit back with yourself, listen what your heart says. Do some relaxation meditation, because yoga is not spiritual escape. It is not running from the routine problems of life, it is facing the brutes head on. Krishnanji also mentioned that through Surya Namaskar, we can not only lose physical weight, we can also lose mental weight also. Unnecessary bearings on the mind and body can be reduced by Surya Namaskar, which is very much executionable tip he gave. He also said that proper diet is very important in generating mental health. He said about Ashtanga Yoga Kriya, 8 limbs of yoga should be practiced step by step, that can also contribute in improving our mental health, so that we can assure optimal peak performance. Thank you very much, dear respected guests from different parts of the world. Thank you very much, audience, to be here with us. Thank you for blessing us today. Thank you. Namaste.
It's my honor to welcome our next guest, Ms. Francoise Gracio from France. She's heartfulness practitioner, heartfulness meditation trainer, heartfulness communication facilitator for Europe.
Speak. Namaste, Francois ji. Kindly unmute and speak.
Yeah. Good evening, or maybe I should say good morning, depending on where you are on the globe. I'm very, very happy, very glad and grateful to be among you today on this auspicious occasion of the International Week of Yoga. Dear United Consciousness team and respected panelists, I am very, very moved by the conversation I have just listened to. And it is a very, very heartwarming and joyful feeling when efforts are coming together towards unity and evolution of consciousness. So, on behalf of Heartfulness Meditation and under the blessing of our global guide of heartfulness, Kamlesh Patel, also known as Darji, I will guide you now into a meditation supported by yogic transmission. I will read what's on the side because the format is not so good, but don't worry. Just sit comfortably. You can sit cross-legs or in a chair, and you can gently close your eyes and relax. Turn your attention inward and take a moment to observe yourself. Then suppose that the source of divine light is already present in your heart and it is attracting you from within. Be receptive, open, and welcoming to the transmission which is flowing into your heart. Gently relax into that feeling. If you find your awareness drifting to other thoughts, do not fight them, but also do not entertain them. Let them be, while remembering yourself that you are meditating on the source of divine light in your heart. Allow yourself to become more and more absorbed within. We start meditation now. That's all. Thank you for joining.
Thank you very much, dear Francis Ji, for the guided meditation and blessing us. Wish you a
Yeah.
very healthy and happy International Yoga Week. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
On behalf of United Consciousness, I thank Ms. Francoise Gracio from France for coming on to the platform of United Consciousness. Thank you so much. On behalf of United Consciousness, I welcome our next guest, who is a versatile personality, Ms. Sharon Rose, a true Renaissance woman, a filmmaker, choreographer, composer, scholar, author, teacher, and healer. She has spent the past 50 years working in the field of education and the art to investigate, integrate, and impart the knowledge and wisdom of ancient and traditional cultures throughout the world. Sharon has lectured, performed, presented her films in numerous universities, spiritual centers, cultural organizations, and museums. She is the author of the visionary award-winning book, The Path of the Priestess, a guide for awakening the divine feminine, and is currently completing a global fusion CD book and performance project, The Nectar of Bliss, dedicated to the healing power of the divine feminine in culture throughout the world. Dance career reigned from childhood in the classical Western arts of ballet, modern dance, opera and theaters. In 70s, she became a member of New York City Vital Dance Theater, performer, artist and scene. In the 80s, with the assistance of a professional development grant from the American Institute of Indian Studies, a Fulbright Senior Research Fellowship, she began extensive research into the art, cultural, and spiritual traditions of North India, became the first American disciple of early Bollywood film star, renowned North Indian classical dancer Sitara Devi. Since that time, she has continued her exploration of ancient traditions, focusing upon the dance, music, mythology, and healing practices of Egypt, Tibet, Kaaba, Tibet shamanism and Taoism. So ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together to welcome Ms. Sharon Rose.
Namaste, everyone. I'm Sharon Rose, and I'd like to welcome you on United Consciousness International Yoga Week, organized by United Consciousness Global. I'm going to share with you a dance in the Kathak style of North India, choreographed by my Guruji Sitara Devi, Queen of Kathak and early Bollywood star. This is a dance which celebrates yoga, of course, and Shiva, Lord of Yogis and Lord of the Dance. Enjoy.
On behalf of United Consciousness, I thank Ms. Sharon Rose for her beautiful performance and coming onto the platform of United Consciousness. Thank you so much. On behalf of United Consciousness, I welcome and introduce our youngest musician today, Master Sagar, a 14-year-old boy, and has been learning harmonium since the age of 6. For the first few years, Sagar took his harmonium training from Shri Hemant Kulkarni ji in New Jersey and began his journey with Dr. Kedar Nefte in 2017. Apart from harmonium, Sagar pursues cello and is a cellist youth orchestra of Central Jersey. So ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together to welcome Master Sagar.
Namaste, my name is Sagar Deshpande and I welcome you on United Consciousness International Yoga Week, organized by United Consciousness Global. Today I'll be playing the famous bhajan, Bayo Ji Mein.
On behalf of United Consciousness, I thank Master Sagar for coming on to the platform of United Consciousness and playing such a beautiful music. Thank you so much.
सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्।
This shloka means, may everyone be happy, may everyone be free from all diseases, may everyone see goodness and auspiciousness in everything, may none be unhappy or distressed. Om Shantihi, Shantihi, Shantihi. I am highly privileged to have this opportunity to present my gratitude to all those who have witnessed and blessed this event directly or indirectly. I believe that this is not the end, but the beginning of our journeys. The journeys towards the noble cause of removing the 14 divides rooted in human race and promoting harmonious and peaceful coexistence. Firstly, I thank the God for blessing us all. I thank European Yoga Federations, thank the Spiritual Council in Africa. I am also very thankful for Yoga Vidya Germany, Yoga Lam Russia, Siddhashram Turkey, Nidra Consciousness France, Yoga Yogismo South America, AAYT Australia, World Movement for Yoga and Ayurveda Italy, CUIDY Italy, the World Community of Indian Culture and Tradition Disciplines Italy. I extend my heartfelt thanks and gratitude to our chief guest Dr. Vinay Sahasrabuddhe, President ICCR, for sparing his valuable time for this event of United Consciousness. I extend my heartfelt thanks to our speakers Swami Chidanand Puriji, Dr. Jose Roge, Professor Dharm P.S. Bhavok, Dr. Anandabal Yogi. I am also thankful to our esteemed panelists, Mr. Gastov Plaza, Mr. Kobus Kosman Constantine, Mr. Christoph Steg, Ms. Kelly-Johanna Silve. I am thankful to our yoga and meditation expert, Mr. Gabriel Arazola and Ms. Francois Gracio. I am thankful to our dance and music performers. I owe my heartfelt thanks to Team Project Self USA, Shri Rajesh Rabindranath, Ms. Pavitra Srinivasan, Ms. Madhurika Arvind, Ms. Rashmi Kashi, Dr. Prasad Akavu, Dr. Vijay Reddy, Ms. Gina Suresh, Mr. Karthik Palamalai, Mr. K.L. Alexander, Mr. Venkat Sriram Lalu, Ms. Deepthi Nair, Ms. Avneet Bad, Mr. Suresh, Mr. Devaraju, Ms. Deepa Arun. I thank Team Project Self Bharat, Dr. Vikrant Singh Tomar, Dr. Shweta Tomar, Aditi Meghna Mausan Prachi, Mr. J.S. Juneja, Dr. Paramji Juneja, Rishi Vishalji Arnav, Aditya Ashwin, Rati Dharmendraji Uday, Poojaji Bhartiji, Diptiji, Amrishji, Mrinalniji, Khushbuji, Jimmyji, Mr. Sanjay Rajput, Ms. Simran Reel. I am also very grateful for our new members in the team of United Consciousness, Ms. Aishwarya, Ms. Priyanka and Mr. Prakash Tyagi. I am very much thankful to our wonderful audience and all the visible and invisible sources blessing us.